Hello, my friends, and welcome to The Simple Sober Life. I am Joshua, and it is Friday, and it's payday. You know what that means? Josh is super happy today. So I checked my bank account. No issues this time. I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and as soon as I woke up, I checked my account, kind of pouncing away on my phone, and opened up my banking app, and the money was there. And it was right on the dime. So that's always good. I was able to put money away for a car. So I have a good chunk saved up for a car. It's not quite enough, but I think after next paycheck, I'll have enough where I can actually seriously start looking for a car. Now, I'll take some time in the meantime to, kind of scavenge about and see what's out there, what's going on, what cars are going for. I'm definitely going to buy outright from a private person because I don't want the payments. I don't want to have to get full coverage. I don't want to have to deal with that hassle, because there are so many other things that I need to take care of other than car payments and things like that. So things are moving in the right direction. I'll be able to pay my bills. I'll be able to put money away for the car. Things are getting better, and they keep getting better, which is fantastic. So every day that I take a step forward, I think whatever powers may be that, I'm able to do this, I'm able to stay sober, and I'm able to, get back on track and make good choices. So not too much going on this week. I've dove right into that coding course, and I gotta tell you, it is mind-blowing. I'm on like lesson 3, and I'm already so confused. I have no idea what's going on. But I'm going to stick it out for the next 30 days, even though it takes so much time. There is a minimum of 15 hours per week required in order to do this. And working 60 hours a week, adding the 15 hours, that's a big haul right there. Plus, I want to keep doing videos. I want to continue writing on my book. I've got marketing that I need to do. Faith is outside with me, and she is going crazy. She hates when people come up and down this road back here. So she goes kind of crazy every time a car or a truck kind of mosey on past the house. She is very protective of this house. No one is coming in with her here. So we're very well protected with little Faith over there. Let's see here. What else? So we were planning on going to the zoo tomorrow, and the forecast is kind of hit or miss. It could be rain, but we were going to go down to Columbia, South Carolina, and go to the zoo, take Callie. The humidity is supposed to be like 70%, and it's supposed to be 80 degrees, which to me sounds like a winter. That sounds like the perfect time to go to the zoo. But with that high of humidity and everything, it does get kind of difficult to breathe. So we're going to postpone that and push it back possibly to next weekend, but we'll see how the weather works out and everything. And we have to go on an IKEA trip. My sister has never been to IKEA, and it is by far one of my favorite stores in the entire world. I just love the setup. I love all the little gadgets that you get to handle and move around, and the showrooms are fantastic. And the Swedish meatballs are worth the trip alone. They're amazing. I love this store so much, I actually worked at it when I lived in LA, and it was probably one of the best jobs I've ever had in retail. I've worked a bunch of different retail jobs, and that one by far was my favorite. They treat their people well. They're paid decently, and it was just a great company to work for. Even better to shop at. So that's in the mix somewhere. We just have to schedule when we want to go. Probably I would imagine on a more of a dreary day. Tomorrow's actually supposed to rain, so here. So, but I don't think we're gonna leave the house tomorrow, which is fine by me because I've got so much to do. I still need to, work on that Life of Awesome Change series. So I've got some more scripts to write. So I just keep piling this stuff on. Just bring it on, I can take it. But this 30 days with the coding class, it'll really give me a deep dive into what to expect should I decide to actually pursue that. Again, it's something I've always been interested in, but I'm glad I'm able to take this preliminary course at no cost to really see if it's something I want to do. So, a couple of things happened at work yesterday. One, a couple of weeks ago, I was talking to a coworker about YouTube. And he's like, yeah, I want to get this YouTube channel started and blah, blah, blah. It's going to be about, teaching people hunting techniques and things like that, which is awesome. There's a really good market for that. And, he enjoys that. So it's definitely something that he would probably be really good at. And without even thinking about it, I kind of blurted out, oh, I have a YouTube channel. And, the stuff I talk about on this channel are the things happening in my life. And, I, try and, verbalize some of the lessons that I'm learning in hopes to pass it on and help other people with, sobriety and making positive changes in their lives and things like that. But I also talk I talk about personal stuff. The fact that I'm gay and, I am an alcoholic and things like that. And as soon as I told him about that, I'm like, crap. Because I don't really like to mix my personal life with my business life. I like to keep those elements separate. One of the great things about this job is as soon as I walk out the door, I forget everything about it. And it's fantastic. The other great thing about this job is I don't really have to deal with people like I had to in the restaurant industry, really catering to people's needs. I know that sounds terrible from someone who, wants to help people, but the way I want to help people is totally different. Anyway, back to the story. As soon as I told him, I kind of regretted it. And then, he mentioned, a couple hours later or something that he had watched one of the videos. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. And I kind of left it at that, still feeling like I should not have shared that information. It's a very manly environment, I guess. It's the macho guys, the guys who go hunting, the guys who, are going to the gym and, these burly guys hauling steel and whatnot. And, they're all guys or whatever. And I didn't really want to let my sexuality in that world. Not that I'm ashamed of it. I spent 22 years of my life denying and being ashamed of who I was. And, once I made the decision to come out, I never kind of looked back. I kind of embraced it as being a part of me. It's not who I am, it's a part of me. Like being an alcoholic is a part of me. Being an excellent student is a part of me. Being a business owner, being, a brother, being, a partner. Those are all different parts of me. It's not exactly who I am. But I never intended for that to get out. And yesterday, a couple of the guys that I talked to, we kind of joke around and everything. They came up to me, they were like, hey, come here. And I had that feeling. I'm like, crap. I know where this is going. They didn't even have to say a word. I knew exactly where it was going. And I've been in this situation before, a couple of times. And, you know, I'm sure if you've had not a secret, but something that you've been trying to keep apart, or something that you've been keeping apart from other people, and they find out, hey, come here, got a question for you. I'm like, all right, how am I going to handle this? So I go up to him, and I'm like, yeah, what's up? And knowing exactly what's coming. And, you know, in their joking fashion, they're like, so, I heard you like the eye that stinks, not the eye that winks. And I'm like, what? What the hell does that mean? I've never heard that in my entire life. I'm like, that is the most foul way to ask that question that I've ever heard in my entire life. I'm like, what? And so I had them repeat it. And they repeated it verbatim. And I'm like, eh. They're like, we're not going to tell you who told us, but we heard that, you know, you're gay or whatever. And I'm like, yep, that's me. And, you know, we kind of joked around about it a bit, and, you know, I kind of brushed it off. But I was like, crap. Because I go in there to do my job, and that's all I want out of it. Go in, do my job, you know, have a couple of laughs or whatever with the guys, be one of the guys, and, you know, that, I don't know. Now it's feeling of, all right, so are they judging me now? Are they, you know, are they going to think differently of me? You know, it's just frustrating that that part of my life had to be introduced to the work environment because of someone else's decision. I know that I talk about it on the video. I basically put it out there in the entire world for anyone to see. And that's fine for me, but I'm the one telling it. So I'm a little aggravated at that guy, and I know exactly who it is. But I mean, what am I going to do now? I actually played the conversation in my head of how they talked about this. Speaking of talking about it, you know, women get a bad rap for being gossips. Ha! No. If you want to hear some major gossip, go work in an all-male environment. It's ridiculous. You know, women get made fun of. They're like, oh, they're just clucking hens. Oh, they're in their knitting circle or whatever. Guys are just as bad. Just as bad. They love to talk about other people. And I guess it's a human trait, because I'll never turn down a juicy piece of gossip. I don't usually spread them, but I'll listen and I'll pay attention and I'll eat that up. Hey! That's enough, sweetheart. So, I guess it's just human nature. So now I've got to deal with that at work. Going in there every day being like, all right, so now what? But, I mean, I went there today, and, you know, I just kind of did my thing as usual, held my head up as usual. I'm not embarrassed by the fact, and I'm not ashamed of it. I just don't like that choice was taken away from me. Not cool. And I saw the guy today, and he didn't say one word to me. And, I mean, that's fine. He's a cool guy. I mean, the times that we've had brief conversations, he seems pretty cool. So, whatever. I'll probably just, let it roll off my back, and by Monday be fine and just do my thing, like I do every day. The other thing, flipping topics, that happened at work was I almost threw up. I was so nervous. I nearly almost threw up all over myself. So for the past 2 weeks or so, I've been, suggesting, hinting to the boss that, I need to learn to drive a forklift. There are parts of my job that it would be really helpful if I had that skill. I could go and get things that I needed and move things around without having to wait and ask other people. So yesterday, I talked to the boss again and said, hey, it'd be really cool to learn the forklift. It's time, especially since my coworker, left. He knew how to drive the forklift. He could go and do whatever we needed done. So I tell my boss, and maybe an hour or so later, I'm milling about doing my thing, and coworker comes up to me. He's like, "Hey, where are you going?" At first, I'm like, "Crap. Is he gonna interrogate me too? Is he gonna ask the question too?" No, it was something totally different. He was going to train me on a forklift. Now, I have never even sat on a forklift in my entire life. I've never had to. I'm a city boy who's worked in retail, restaurants, and marketing. Never needed a forklift. So I tell him, I'm like, listen, I've never been on a forklift. And so he had me get up there, and he showed me what the controllers did. And it's weird because the controllers are backwards. You kind of, well, I guess they're not backwards, but to me, I thought it was a little weird. You have to push up on the thing to get the forklift to low. See, now I'm all confused. You have to push it up, and then it goes down. I'm like, well, that's stupid. If you push it up, it should go up. But besides that. And then everyone's always told me, oh, it's rear wheel driving, so you have to do opposites. So I'm like, okay. So I get in there and he's showing me the controllers and he starts it up and he's like, all right, we're gonna go and pick up some stuff. I'm like, okay. How do you go forward? So he shows me how to go forward and backward. It's a little lever on the side of the what the hell is it? What the heck is it? Forklift. It's a little lever on the side of the steering column. And so, okay. So I start backing up and boop, 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 boop. It's backing up and I'm watching where I'm going like an inch an hour. I'm going so slow. And so I get it turned around and he's like, we're gonna go. Now I think we're gonna go and practice picking up pallets. Makes sense, right? Start with something small so you can get the configuration of how things work and where to move the little lift things. And, we move pallets. And that's all I really wanted to know was how to move the pallets around so I could keep organized and move things out of my shop that I want out of there and move things in that need to be in there. No. That is not what happened. He's like, all right, we're gonna go pick up a beam. A sphincter says what? I'm sorry? I don't think so. Yeah, we're gonna go pick up a beam. Okay. So I'm hauling over into the steel yard. And this thing bounces. Like there is no shocks whatsoever. It's enough. People who are in the rodeo have nothing on driving a forklift. it was like I was having a seizure right there in the seat. It was crazy. And the lift thingies, they're all bouncing everywhere, making so much noise. I'm like, calm down there. So I'm going slow through the steel yard. He's like, I want you to pick up that beam. This beam was 27 feet long, and it probably weighed close to 1,000 pounds. I'm like, uh-huh. Uh-huh. He's like, okay, here's what you do. You gotta make sure you're right in the middle, because otherwise that beam's gonna tip whenever you move. And you can't back up too quickly because it'll swing around. And if you go too fast, it'll bounce right off. Are you freaking kidding me? This is what you want me to start with? So I get in there and he's like, you gotta scoop it up and lift up your thingies, your lift thingies. And then you gotta lift it up and then you gotta pull it back. Okay. So I did it. I scooted up there ever so slowly. Got my little lifty things under it. All right. Now pull it up. So I ease it up. It's like, okay, lift up your lifts. So I lift it up ever so much just to get it off the 4x4s or whatever, the wooden plank things. Okay. Now back up. So I ever so slowly back up, and I got to turn because I've got steel things behind me. And so I'm turning. Pow! I hit the steel rods behind me, and the beam on my lift almost flies off. I'm like, oh crap. It's like, okay, move forward. So I'm moving forward. Finally, I get it straightened up to where I need to go. But guess who didn't get it centered? So I've got one long end over here and a short end over here. And sure enough, every single rock that I would hit, it'd go, and I could see this side come off of the lift. I'm like, oh my God. My stomach was about ready to come through my throat. I'm like, if this thing falls off, what am I going to do? I have no idea. I don't know how to pick this thing up off the ground. What am I going to do? There's no way I could lift it for sure. So, ever so slowly. Seriously, it took me 20 minutes to get where I needed to go. And I had to and his whole philosophy was, it's a judgment call. It's up to the operator. Do whatever you need to do. I'm like, I don't even know what that means. So I'm like, where should I put it? He's like, it's a judgment call. Where are you going to put it? I'm like, tell me where it goes. So finally, he's like, here, just put it right here. So I scoot up to an empty space closer to where they actually fabricate the columns. And I gently lay it down on the wooden plank things next to a bunch of other steel columns that need to go into the shop. And of course it's crooked, and he's like, well, we gotta straighten it up. So I had to back up and use the little prongy things to actually push it further into this thing on one side so that it actually lined up with the other stuff. After that, I needed a cigarette. I was so nervous. I was so panicking. I was so crazy. Oh my gosh. I was glad when that was over. So I know how to drive with Lyft, but I've got to get certified or something. I've got to, have a manager watch me and see if I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing, which I don't. I definitely need to get more practice on that before I take any sort of certification. But that's been my week. It's been crazy. So I am super excited. I'd like to say it's going to be a relaxing weekend and we're not going to go out and do anything that I know of, but so I guess it could be, but my schedule is packed to the brim. All I can say is I hope I can take a nap at some point during the weekend. And I'm sure I will. But I've got a lot of stuff to do. Tonight I've got to edit this video. I've got to work on that coursework. And I'd like to finish up the script for that second video. Those are my goals for this evening. Okay, good thing we get off at 4:30 on Fridays. We only have to work 10 hours on Fridays, which is great because coming home at 6, showering, eating, and then getting on that course, it's like 8 o'clock, 7:30, 8 o'clock before I can even get on the course. And then I'm in bed by 9:30, 9:45 at the latest. So that doesn't leave a lot of time during the week. All right. I think I've talked your ear off enough. I hope you have enjoyed this video, my friends. If you have, give it a thumbs up. I love to see those thumbs up. Also, think about subscribing. Hit that bell when you subscribe so you get notified each time I create a video. And comment down below. Have you ever had someone out you? Not necessarily for your sexuality, but for anything. And you're like, what the heck? I mean, why? Was that really necessary? Comment down below. I'd love to hear about it if you feel like outing yourself. But have a wonderful evening, my friends. I will definitely shoot another video this weekend. I will carve out time for it. But have a fantastic evening. Thank you, my friends. Take care.